Hey guys, welcome to the third episode of the Path Taken podcast. Today we have with us an inspiring leader. She is impacting a lot of lives through her social entrepreneurship works. She is the founder of Impactscientist, director of Mohanam Center, and she was featured in Forbes 30 Under 30 special mention. And she is also the national brand ambassador of sustainable goals. We are happy to welcome Sahithi Divi to our show. Can you please tell us about how your social entrepreneurship journey started?
The journey of Impactscientist began, if you trace back the social impact journey of my life, it began with my grandfather. Like, I used to live in Bhopal. I was studying in Delhi Public School, and I was mostly interested in sports. I was a national skating champion. So
Right.
I used to come to Andhra Pradesh, which is where my grandparents live, as a summer holiday for 2 months every year from Bhopal. And when I came for holidays, we used to go to my grandpa's place, and he was born and brought up there. But it's a very underdeveloped place, which is on the coast of Godavari River. And I saw my grandfather help develop the government school step by step. He used to fund the teacher's salary, which the government was unable to pay, for example, and then donated some computers. And now that school has all the classes. It used to have only 4 or 5 classes before. And now it's a completely fully functional school with benches and fans and computers and all the basic amenities which are required by children. So I saw how a school can be created in collaboration with an individual and with the help of a government. And then we worked on a PHC, Primary Health Center, and then a library. So every year for my holidays when I came, so this 1 week used to be like a social impact activity for me. Like joining him in the planning, talking to the people in the village, trying to understand what the problems at the ground level are, rather than just going with your solution. At the same time, then it has to be something about women and rural. And that's how I found Impactscientist after quitting my job, and started writing about the stories about women. And here I am.
Great, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to ask, you just started from your childhood days, right? Did you know that you will start something like this?
I never thought about starting something on my own, but I was very inclined towards, I was a very, very patriotic person from my childhood. So I knew that I'm going to be involved in service of nation. I was really interested in my NCC camps. I was there in the NCC for 1 year when I was in the school. And whenever I see, anything patriotic, I used to feel, and that kind of grew along with me. And it just didn't satisfy me when I think about, show respect to your country only on the Independence Day and Republic Day, and rest of the time, I just want to do it every day, every hour. I want to give myself to it. So this is something I always knew, but I did not know how I'm going to do it, from where I'm going to do it, where the journey is going to take me.
I like the name Impactscientist. Can you please tell us the story behind the name?
So impact was always my favorite word.
Okay.
So, and to keep, and impact is an undefinable word. You can't define impact, because impact is deeper. Impact could be larger, it could be emotional impact, or it could be a personal impact. So the changes, or the changes that we are creating in the lives of people, it could be economical change, it could be change in the social structure, or it could be creating awareness about fundamental rights, or helping them reach their products and services out to the world. So all these are different kinds of impact. So impact is an undefinable word, and there has to be a continuous research, exploration, and search, basically. And we have to keep rediscovering impact in the social impact space. So that's how I felt like I just want to be like a tiny scientist of impact by creating stories.
You just mentioned that you had a rebirth in San Francisco. Can you please tell more about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So before going to SF, I was in Hyderabad, and I had actually worked with my father in his startup. So my dad was heading the Spencer's. He was the CEO of Spencer's Retail, and he quit his company and he started his own entrepreneurship journey. And that was exactly when I finished my bachelor's. So those 2 years I was involved with him in his projects, and that was like a hardcore training of business, of retail, of corporate, of branding, and it was a business simulation from me for me, and it was a personal level mentorship I was getting. And he is also from IIM Ahmedabad, and he's participated in creating many brands in ITC when he worked with Spencer's. So his experience I could envelop in those 2 years, but because I had done my bachelor's in pharmacy, I could not get my head straight on whether I'm really equipped educationally, knowledge-wise. Like, do I know the fundamentals of business? How can I research on business? How can I measure the progress of business? And how can I, dive deeper and meet more people who are thinking like me? But I wanted business with a social inclination. At the same time, I did not want to do anything related to non-profit space. So I believe in social enterprises, which means purpose plus profit. So that is more sustainable. And although we need non-profits in this world, and non-profits are doing their part, what they're supposed to do, but my core was social enterprises. And then I started searching for 1 year's master's. And in India, I didn't really find anything which was aligning with all these things, because Tata Institute of Social Sciences had the similar kind of course in their bachelor's. And that's it. The radar was missing. And then I started exploring and researching. It took me a couple of months to find Hull International Business School in San Francisco.
Okay.
And we were a unique batch, with 65 students, and only 2 students from each country, which means we were 35 countries sitting in the same class, and everybody who wanted to read that course was like me, had that inclination, found that course, wanted to do social plus impact, and bring sustainable businesses and ethical businesses, because that is the future. Any business that is not sustainable can't sustain in the future. So that peer learning, like the community learning and the classroom learning, the kind of projects we did, or the exposure we had in terms of sustainable development goals, social innovation. So this kind of opened me up. I thought, this is unimaginable. The problems are unimaginable, and there is a way to find solutions for that. We need to collaborate, and we need to change our perception and, reverse engineer, go back. Not most of the social impact solutions are not in the future, they are in the past. How our villages used to run, they were very sustainable, all the skills. Say, for example, weaving. Weaving needs zero electricity, which means zero emissions. But got technology, and we are creating companies and textile units and power looms and machines which will, take so much of fuel and then cause emissions, and we want to buy those kind of products. So we've gotten into a loop of improvement without being able to measure what's going to happen in the future. So
True.
the course kind of made me believe that it's possible. There are people, there is information, and there is education in regard to this. And it gave me the power to come back to my country.
Ma'am, how did you feel when you were featured in Forbes 30 under 30?
I came to Auroville. Auroville is the place I'm living right now. So Auroville is in Tamil Nadu, and I'm here for 1 year. So I would say after San Francisco, Auroville is the second place for me where I feel like, okay, I'm reborn again, because I needed that place like San Francisco, but in India, with the tourist footfall, where there are universities, and where I can, be alone and live a simple life and myself. I can't be living in a city and talk about sustainable living and support villages without living in a village. So I live in a village called Edianjavadi in Auroville. This comes under Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry are like right next to each other. So some villages of Auroville are Pondicherry. Some villages of Auroville are Tamil Nadu. So sometimes you'll see that there's only half kilometer difference from Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry.
I think there's a big community over there.
Yes, there are a lot of communities. There are more people, here from more than 50 countries. And there are hundreds of social enterprises and world-class facilities if you are wanting to learn a skill. There are therapies and social enterprises, non-profits who are working with villages, and so many things that one can come and learn and also contribute in Auroville.
How did you become the national brand ambassador for sustainable goals? Can you please elaborate about that?
I was both Forbes and the national brand ambassador for sustainable development goals. These they happened one after one. Like when I started writing about the sustainable development goals initially, that is when my goal was more and more people should know about the sustainable development goals. And that's when an organization, a central government non-profit organization called ICTMAE, I think it means Indian Confederation of Small, Medium and Micro Enterprises is the name of that organization. So they reached out to me and they nominated me as the national brand ambassador for SDGs. And after coming to Auroville, just before coming to Auroville, I had worked with around 15 supply chains in Andhra, like the brick making, broom making, cashew making, mango jelly, weaving, bamboo craft, traditional foods, indigenous crafts. So these kind of, with the help of the local member of parliament then. So that kind of brought a lot of business for the local economy and a partnership. So many organizations wanted to partner with these local vendors for products and services. So this got me the momentum of and it showed me the direction of what I should be doing, and I used design thinking concept to kind of frame up these stories by looking at how they are identifying the problems and why these products, although they are global market ready, why are they not able to reach those platforms, and trying to identify those gaps and writing about them. So I think this got me Forbes, and connecting with the right people and growing the community on LinkedIn. For example, there are 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, and that is organic followers. I don't know how that happened. Over the 3 years, so every month I have so many people reaching out to me and becoming a part of my community. So it happened very slowly, and it happened very organically. So whoever is there on my followers list, for example, all engaged in my activity. So I think that momentum and those stories and writing about the supply chains is what, when I came to Auroville one day, I got an email that you got nominated for Forbes Under 30 Special Mention. So that was like magic, and I felt very good and very validated, because after doing masters, and leaving my job, 95% of the people tell me to go back to a job. Why are you struggling? Why are you living in such a house? Which for me is like a palace. I don't think a palace also can give this kind of a beauty and comfort and happiness. But, people have different perspectives. Although they love what I'm doing, many people feel like I am letting go of happiness, which is not the fact, So everything comes with a cost. But this particular life came with a lot of value and growth and meaning to me.
We talk a lot about following the passion. So what is your takeaway on it? What do you want to say to someone who is starting the journey? I see a lot of people not following their passion because of family and peer pressures. How do you see that?
I think passion is more about knowing yourself. It's not about, other people will always, if you're successful, not successful, whether you're doing a job. If you're doing a job, they'll ask you, when are you getting promoted? Why don't you get a better job? Why don't you leave the country, go to US and make dollars? So, there is no limitation on what people are going to tell you to do. So I have crossed that stage where what people say affect me. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care, because 2 years back, many people didn't believe me. They were like, why? When I was writing my first blog, when I wrote my second story or the third story, I was sharing my story to my friends and telling them to share it on their social media so that people know what I'm writing. So it started that small. The first step is always that small, and there will be a set of believers in you. There were friends, there was family, and there will be a small set of people who believe you. Just put them on board and leave. Let others eliminate in the process, because if the dream is big, if you're serious about the dream, and before that, what is important is, how much do you know yourself? What is the area you're really passionate about? Because you can't be happy. Social impact space and entrepreneurship journey or any leadership journey is not easy. It comes with a high price. You have to let go so many things. You have to listen to so much. You have to be able to dissolve and keep your calm and not lose balance, not give up. At the same time, show success and show results to the world. So all this goes on a very, very thin, balanced, it's like a rope, and you're walking on a rope. So you cannot take such a big risk without self-discovering yourself. Have you traveled enough? Have you met enough people? Whatever bad, good, worst, best idea you have you discussed it with some 20 people and taken the feedback? And have you read about it? Do you have enough knowledge in the space you're working in?
Yes.
For example, take all the 17 sustainable goals. If you're going into social impact space, or if you're going into entrepreneurship journey, what is the problem that you are going to solve is important for you to know as an entrepreneur. Why are you doing what you're doing, and when and how you're going to do that? So when and how will only come from why. And why is only residing inside you. And the more people you meet, the more places you visit, they will give you the answers to what you're passionate about. So you have to let yourself fall, let yourself get empty, pour yourself out into that mode of, forget everything in the world and only focus on that. Give everything you have to it. That is when you'll recognize and identify your passion. And once you recognize your passion, you don't even need a plan. The universe will take you. You'll manifest it. You will be there. Every cell in your body will work towards it.
Yes. I think we all have gone through some form of conditioning from our childhood. Most of the parents want their kid to get settled, go to a good job. What is your takeaway on that?
Parents, what I understood very recently in my life is we do look at parents and we try to measure that, okay, this is what happened in my childhood, this is the school I was put in. For example, there was a point of time when I could not convince my dad that I don't want to do B pharmacy. That's not my cup of tea. I don't want to study pharmacy. I want to study journalism. That day I could not convince him. I got convinced. I went into that college. I don't even, I want to be away from that as much as possible, because I'm in social impact space and I don't want to work in a pharmaceutical company. So that time, I always blamed myself, my dad, to why did you made me study this course? But you know what? If I look back, everybody does the best they can. Yes. Parents want the best for their children. And in their reality, they think that they want to protect us. So yeah, things in the Western world are different. But how many engineers are there in the Western world? See, And at the same time, how many engineers are useful in India? So, like, every engineer after 4 years still has to take a 6 or the 9 months course to bridge that gap which the employer needs, or the role. Again, like, are the engineering colleges updating? Like, AI has come, blockchain has come. I don't know much of the technical words, but so much has happened in digital world. So are the engineering colleges and the professors who are teaching are equipped with the latest technologies? If not, if you're still teaching the very, very basics of engineering, which are mostly automated in today's world, what are engineers going to do? And India is a skill-based country. Like, we need more skilled people. So, like, entrepreneurship skill also need to be inducted along with the engineering. Have to be involved in volunteering opportunities. They have to know what is happening around the world so that they know where to use their engineering. Like, you know, for that, you need to have the exposure to the world. And the self-exploration for me traveling to San Francisco, like living there for a year. So I think it's the most favorite place in the world for me, because I met the best people in my life there. And the connections which I made there, the friends I made there, they're still intact in my life. And they're like my pillars of strength. And trekking, hiking, facing natural, landscapes with the right kind of people, and having the right conversations at the right time, eating good food with a good group of strangers, and asking them what is their culture, how is their life, how is, the same problems, how are they perceived in their countries. So, this opens you up to a new reality. There's nothing more, and then Himalayas, like, that's one. My best friend lives in a village called Kalga there, and she's an M.Tech student who actually left everything in Delhi. She's a Delhi University student, and then she went to Himachal Pradesh, and she started her own space, and she does organic farming and promotes sustainable tourism there. So when I visited there, the lives people are living in the villages, how much they trek up to just get one pile of wood back so that they can sleep in the night and cook. And the kind of problems. So is automation able to help people eat in mountains? No. So where is the science going away? So we need people to travel our own country so that they know that, villages are not just for taking pictures of beautiful landscapes, but also your knowledge technically can help to improve. And by that, it doesn't mean that bring rocket science to villages. No, we don't have to re-engineer the villages. Sometimes it could be very small interventions, but we need educated people to relocate to the most rural and remote places in this country, which is the major share of geographical land in our country, which is rural. So we need people like us in rural to live there, to face that life, to understand what you can actually bring to that place, because they have money in the sense they have skill and product. They have resources which are unused because there is no leadership. Somebody is sitting in a city. There are only 2 or 3 cities in every state in India. Like, do you know any other city except Ahmedabad and Gujarat? Anything other than Hyderabad and Telangana? And Chennai, maybe Cochin. So, like, Karnataka, Bangalore, Mysore. Apart from that, what cities are there? So, which means 80% of every state consists of villages, but not a single engineer wants to go there and live. Or no, it's not just engineer, okay? It's any educated field. And also we need more students in agri. Like, we need more agriculture, biotechnology, oceanography, travel, sustainable, hospitality or beauty, food segment, packaging. These are the sectors and industries which can bloom in rural also.
They're not aware of the value their product is having in the market.
Whoever is good at skill, whoever is making a beautiful product will never know how to sell it. That's where we need entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs will not be creating the products, right? They're good at selling. They're businessmen. So that's where we need to collaborate.
True, ma'am. I know you have traveled to many different countries and you have experienced so many cultures and people. What is the one thing that's connecting everyone?
Wow, that's a good question. Because I'm working with mostly women, let's maybe I can answer you in perspective of women, maybe.
Sure.
Like, I've seen women in San Francisco, women in Hyderabad, women in Chennai, Pondicherry, Auroville, and another 50 countries. They are amazing negotiators and
True.
very good multitaskers, risk-taking, can do 10 things at the same time. And also, I've seen that in every place I've gone. Like in Telangana, I've worked with the self-help groups. In Himachal, I saw a self-help group, how they are making some local arts. And in Auroville, I keep seeing so many women who are doing it. I mean, they are so self-driven. They have so much energy to run families, to run businesses, to create products, to take care of the husbands, and then to give birth, and then deal with the mental, emotional, and physical changes in their bodies, and still face the social stigma. There is nothing much different between San Francisco and Hyderabad when it really comes to gender equality of, because there is again two different layers here. San Francisco and some village in Himachal will not be the same because that's the most developed, one of the most developed cities in the world.
Yes.
So we need to compare San Francisco with the cities of India and, the rural places, different rural places in India. So every rural, like every village that I've traveled to, it's like they're of the same size, different colors.
Okay.
It's, it felt like that. For me, there's no difference. Even if I don't know the language, I can communicate with them because ultimately they're taking care of their children, they're taking, care of the homes, and they are creating this beautiful product which I have sold in the market and which somebody in another country has bought. That is the commonality. Women are creators. They are creators, and that doesn't change in any part of the world. That remains the same, and especially Indian villages. I think we have some really, really powerhouses sitting. Every woman is like a powerhouse. She needs to be equipped with the right partnerships and some more resources. You just need to give more power to people.
I totally agree that women can multitask because I see my mom, my girlfriend, they just can do anything. The women got the special power of multitasking, ma'am. How do you see that?
See, for example, take your mom.
Yeah.
Okay. She gave birth to you. She left her home, like the complete atmosphere where she was born and brought up. She had to completely deconstruct her childhood and reality and come to a new place. That's what majority of women in India do. They leave their homes. And after that, creating a new life is very, very, very different experience for a woman. Like a lot of changes happen. A lot of, it's not easy. It's both emotionally and physically strenuous. Although it's a beautiful process, it's a very challenging process. And then right after the baby is born, the mother knows how to take care. Like when the baby gets hungry, or how many women actually are doing full-time jobs, even in COVID, taking care of their children while they cook, while they drive. So it's not just painting or singing. It's in general, these are the things which we don't really give importance to. Already woman is doing a lot of things differently in a day, whether she is educated or not, whether she is having a specific skill or not. Like men, usually the structure would be go to a job, come back, and then be at home and then go to the job, come back. So I'm not saying that men are not equally contributing.
Yes, I can understand, yes.
The path which mostly men, I think it's a construct that women can do so many things at the same time. It's because that's why I mentioned you that they're amazing multitaskers. Like, I see that they wear sari, and like, that's what inspired me to start the sari revolution in the first place. That, women need to wear saris. And like my grandmother, she played under 60 tennis championship representing ITC in Chennai, and she won the championship, but in a sari, under 60.
Under 60, oh great.
Under 60.
Oh my God.
So she's So, and then she used to cook for 20-25 people in the notice of 1 hour. And these skills, so cooking is no less than painting or dancing or singing.
Yes.
So like that, and then somebody gets hungry, like they go to mom. Somebody has an issue, they come to your mom. So
true.
It's not running one house, it's running 4 people's life and making sure it's fine. So it's like being a mini politician, it's being a mother and still able to do so many things at the same time is like a leadership job, which every woman has already taken by default. And plus, they have jobs. Plus, they have growth in careers. And plus, they are entrepreneurs creating jobs. Plus, they're in every field. They're in Air Force. They're everywhere where they belong to. They were not in Air Force before because we were not allowed to be in the Air Force before. So wherever women were able to go, they've already penetrated. And it's because of the social stigma and inequality, maybe not from the male partners. When I say inequality, it is not caused by the male partners. It could be because of the women. It could be because of anyone. The inequality is having no gender.
True,
Inequality can be caused by putting more pressure on men also. Which put indirect pressure on women, and pressure on men is different. Like they cannot be constrained according to the societal structure. But women, if you want to put pressure on a woman, you house arrest. Like she has to be home. She can't do this. She can't do that. Her security becomes an issue. So even if she has freedom, can she go wherever she wants, whenever she wants? So once we deconstruct all this and see, a woman would be even more powerful than what you're mentioning right now.
I want to know, what is your takeaway on spirituality? Spirituality not in the sense of religion.
See, ultimately all religions and all spiritual gurus and all the mythology books of any religion are trying to tell us the same thing.
Yes.
So there is no idol or face to God or to a particular belief. But in my journey, like especially after coming to Auroville, or when I was traveling in Himachal, or after, going to so many different religious places of different kinds, and listening to so many stories of spirituality, what I understood is we need to find ourselves and be happy with ourselves. And that happiness will come once you empty yourself. You're not emotionally dependent on anyone. You're able to be happy with yourself. You're able to spend 24 hours of a day without really inclining towards anything. And, that balance will come by itself. And it will come when maybe, some things which took me closer to something called spiritual. I don't know what is spirituality, but I know that it's beautiful to be close to nature. All the 5 elements. Like when I walk without chappal in Auroville, like around my house, I live in a forest. And if you see, I am living in a bamboo house. And there's a cow farm in the community which I live. And, the 3 of our neighbors, like me, my neighbor, and 1 more neighbor, we share the refrigerator to reduce the emissions. We don't want to have too many refrigerators for our comfort. So sometimes what happens is people are buying even more expensive things which are so-called sustainable gadgets, which are not sustainable, by trying to show that, we are doing organic.
Yes.
See, rather than buying organic with 3 times more the money, why don't you grow basil at home? Growing basil at home will take you less than a month. and it's very easy. It grows wild. Like it's just an example. So I have not yet started growing my basil. It's my neighbor or my friends who do it. I've made some changes, like reducing my usage of plastic, trying to drink coconut water and sugarcane juice instead of Thumbs Up and Coca-Cola. Not just because that's bad for my health and it's soda, but also because it's packaged in a plastic container. And I've at least 50% of the times I try to carry my water bottle. I hope I make it 100% one day. So these are the very small changes which contribute. So all these things are spiritual, if you ask me, because they are all ruining the nature. They are changing the seasons, and it's causing so much distress to the farmers, and the whole crop cycle has changed in the world. And there's a lot of, floods and so much of natural calamities that are happening, and that is all an indirect effect of what we are doing unconsciously and consciously sometimes. So I think this is the science behind spirituality. We have to be close to nature. We have to be close to the 5 elements, and we need to live as a community. We need to share resources. Like Uber, for example, was a great idea, if you ask me, because it's about sharing cabs. Even like in US, 3 people can book the same Uber together who are going to the same place. That was the real concept of Uber. So that is also like one step closer to greatness, So to me, spirituality is all bringing more social enterprises into the world.
Okay. We all know that Taiwan cities are highly polluted. What are the measures that people can take to connect with nature?
The first thing which goes without saying is planting trees.
Planting, okay.
But not just planting trees, taking care of the tree you planted.
Yes.
Don't plant 100 trees. Rather, plant 2 trees which you can surely take care of and grow.
Okay.
And reducing plastic consumption, or eating local food, rather than buying the biscuits or the chips or the chocolates from the supermarkets, rather buy some fruit or something from a local vendor. You're actually supporting that woman for that day and eating something healthy which is from the nature. So these kind of things, I stopped buying 5-star and started buying peanut chicky, for example, which will make you happy and which will make you more aware. And most importantly, being in a city, what you can do is everything that you consume. It could be water, it could be your clothes, diesel, makeup, your shampoos, toothpaste, everything that you consume in 24 hours, make a list of all that and do research on all the products and the supply chains of how those products are coming to the shelves you're picking. Because, for example, in the makeup industry, some of the minerals which are used are mined from the land with the help of child labor, and hundreds of children die in India in the illegal child labor. And, so much of illegal stuff happens behind the big, behind anything that is mass produced.
Yes.
Right? So, understanding everything that you consume and reducing the number of things you consume and trying to create your own things to consume is the greatest change you can do from being in a city.
Yes.
Because being in a city, your responsibility is bigger. It's not just connecting to nature, it is saving the world from the products that you're using.
Yes, ma'am. True. I think what you told should reach so many people so that they can just get an understanding on how the products which they use affect the environment. Yes.
Yeah, see, for example, most of the boys, even my friends, see, if they want to buy a, for women, buying a handloom sari is easy compared to a guy wanting to buy a handloom shirt. Because there are more number of options, designs, cost structure, many things available for women. So as a guy, if you want to go shopping, you'll go to a mall, you'll go to Zara, H&M, Levi's or Flying Machine, whatever. And then you'll pick up the shirt you like. But have you ever thought of getting a handloom cloth and getting a shirt stitched. It looks so good. Like, will look very good. But see, it's an effort. We have taken so much effort to kill the skills. Like, weavers are ending. So many skills are ending. The handicrafts are ending. So, and all the natural skills we had in our country are endangered. So many of them are endangered. And the endangered means the next generations are not learning those skills.
Okay.
Which means if their next generation is not learning those skills, it's our responsibility to start buying those things so that those generations will think that, okay, these school people are buying. Like, for them, city is school. For them, city is an aspirational thing. They want to do engineering no matter what, so that they can come to a city one day and make 40,000 rupees as a life goal. But they can sit at home by being a good weaver and make 1 lakh rupees if they have a plan, if they have the resources, if they have consumption from us, because we are consuming their products. And if we stop consuming their products, and if we are buying foreign products, H&M is not our country. Like, it's not from our country. Although they are supporting us, it's a chain. I can't just say that something is an outside. They are creating jobs, which is a great thing, right? But imagine having more Indian brands, more local brands in our malls, which have the potential, which are market ready, which are so competitive. Why are they not there? Instead, they are bought by outsiders, and outsiders create foreign brands and then sell our own stuff to us for a more expensive cost.
Can you please elaborate that cycle, ma'am? Like, it is going from India and going outside, and they're marketing and putting into India again.
See, for example, let's not take the weaving industry. Let's take potato.
Okay.
See, so many times, you see the potato is grown in the villages. It goes and becomes lace in some other company, and then comes back with 7 or 9 chips inside a plastic wrapper for 10 rupees for the same village.
Yes.
Right. And for example, might not know the complete reality of the supply chain.
True.
Right. So sometimes, say there is fabric, there are essential oils, there is a lot of raw materials for the food, like all the superfoods like millets. Like there are so many superfoods, like the organic food, superfoods. There are flowers from which these essential oils and the flavors are made. Everything is growing in India, and it is bought by other countries because they know the value of these flowers and these essential oils and these agri-based. And there are more than 300 rice varieties.
300.
So 300 rice varieties.
Oh my God. Okay.
In India. And we think that rice is only carbohydrate. But it's not. There are some rice varieties with 90% fiber content in it. So this kind of research is already done by the foreign countries, and they are importing the stuff and then telling us the same stuff, saying it's organic, it's certified, it's blah blah blah. That is nothing but grown in our village. Which we don't know, which outsiders can glorify better to us. Only if a white guy says, we will listen.
True.
That is how the perception has become. I'm not saying all, but somebody else is definitely having the power to influence our minds about our own product.
I think they're just making it as a brand, and they put all the scientific information into it so that people believe it.
It can be manipulated, integrated, officially done in so many ways, because the farmer who's actually producing it might not know the value of that superfood he's producing.
True. I read a lot of conspiracy theories, so I just connect with the corporate happening with this.
Yeah, and see, for example, hemp. Hemp is grown in India. Hemp is grown in India, but then we looked at the Western world to accept hemp, whereas hemp is there in India from thousands of years.
India is the origin, I guess.
The origin. So now people are able to understand that, it's not just the illegal part, but it is useful for creating homes, creating food, using it for medicinal purposes, using it to create so many cosmetics which can be naturally produced without chemicals. And fiber, there's n number of things that can be produced from, say, for example, bamboo plant, hemp plant, banana plant, palm plant, palm tree, like the complete plant, including the leaves, the seeds, the stem, every part is useful. And all these plants grow in abundance in India, but sadly are understood better by the outside world.
It's true. Yes. Where do you find all these things? I mean, the knowledge which you're sharing now.
Auroville.
Okay.
Auroville and the stories I keep doing, not just Auroville, maybe the last 1 year has been Auroville, so I feel very impactful about Auroville. But these are the things which I studied in my master's. These are the things which my friends, so many of my friends are social entrepreneurs who are working in different countries and different, organizations and in different fields. So every field I've gone deep, into it. And then I did a leadership transformation course called SILT, Social Impact Leadership Transformation. So that's when I learned a lot about how water harvesting works, how clean, sanitation is working, what is the challenges behind, why are people not understanding the value of our own products? Like this company called Fool, came up with an idea of making agarbattis and candles and soaps and shampoos with the flower waste outside temples. They collect the flower waste.
Okay, outside of temples.
That's their business model, and they're creating beautiful products. So the solutions are sometimes around us.
Ma'am, can you please tell us about your long-term, not goal, the long-term vision on, dream of your startup, the Impactscientist?
My goal is to make as many stories as I can. Till I'm alive, I want to keep doing the stories because I'm organically finding the stories which are not really known to the world. And my business model is nothing but to connect these. So at one point, I just want to increase the number of stories I do. So maybe before I die, 1,000 stories, 2,000 stories, 5,000 stories, whatever is possible, till whenever I'm there. All my energy and knowledge will go into finding these women entrepreneurs from rural India and writing about them. That's all I'm going to do. And make a catalog of these products and services and open that catalog to marketplaces, B2B marketplaces, or investors, or entrepreneurs, or influencers, whoever wants to partner with these products and services created by women from rural India on any level. Someone might say, I want to invest. Someone might say, I want 25 pieces. Someone might say that give me white label products. I want to rebrand them and sell them in some other country. Somebody might say, I want to become an sustainability influencer. So I'm interested to meet this particular woman because I want to go in this field. So whoever wants to associate with these products and services, I'm going to create a catalog with all the required information for the world out there to connect with these people. And also in the future, what I want to do is not, apart from doing the stories and turning out the stories, I want women and youngsters, it need not be just women, but anybody can reach out to me for social enterprise consulting or, just for mentorship of, or knowledge sharing, for example, or want to collaborate with me, or I'm ready to incubate people. Like if you want to, if somebody wants to come stay in Auroville, expose themselves to what is available and spend some time with me to understand what I can do for them if they feel like I'm the person who can help them by connecting them to the right networks.
Yes.
All you need is to sit with the right person and talk. So if you feel, or if anyone feels that I'm the right person that they want to reach out to and they have an agenda behind it, if they have passion and dream, you need not have the greatest idea on earth, but if you just need to be passionate enough, and you can reach out to me, and I'm ready to incubate such people who have the fire and who are very passionate. So these two things, that on an informal and formal basis, I am open to do, because ultimately the most important thing is to make more people like me before I die. Yeah.
Okay. This has to reach to a lot of youngsters who are looking for mentor. Do you have any incubatees now?
Currently, no.
No, okay.
Currently, no. But yeah, in this journey of Impactscientist, I have incubated on smaller levels. I've not completed the complete circle of incubation, but definitely I have mentored many people in this process. But now I want to kind of give structure to that mentorship. Like at which stage are they? Are they in the ideation stage, or in execution stage, or acceleration stage? Some people come to me with their business ideas and products. So for them, I need to I'm so sorry, teach is not the right word. I need to share or, discuss with them on how they can accelerate.
Okay.
Or how they can scale their products, how they can connect to the various incubation centers in the world out there. How can they access to capital? How can they hire people? And how can they get online, and who are the right people to get in touch to make a website for you? So things like this, or make a LinkedIn profile for yourself, make an Instagram profile for yourself, take good pictures of the work you're doing and the stories of where your product is coming. So
yes,
I'm definitely Impactscientist will be an incubation center one day.
Sure. Like what you told, definitely we are in need of mentors. And if you are helping out people, definitely they can make use of it. Ma'am, can you please elaborate about your this Mohanam? I mean, what's their future project?
Mohanam Village and Heritage Center. So I started as a volunteer for them, and now I'm helping them with the PR and strategy, to mainly say. And they're working in the space of culture and rural development, and they have a beautiful women's group, and they have bamboo related activities. There's a bamboo experiential farm and 200 products that are created with bamboo. And Mohanam is also having a craft pavilion, art and craft pavilion, which has partnered with around 250 artisans from 14 villages around Auroville. So they help these artisans like pottery, ceramic, kolam, bamboo art, these candle, hammocks, vessels, and a number of things which are created by these artisans. Mohanam is helping them to formulate their self and, provide live workshops to tourists with the help of these artisans to help them make money, and also by selling their products. So there's a lot which Mohanam is doing, but I am majorly involved in the strategy. And I'm not there day to day, but I'm there in all the events which are related to women. There's a women's group with 120 women, so we are constantly working on that. Yeah.
Do you have any idea of stepping into politics in the near future?
I do see myself in politics. Yeah. Definitely, yes. And that's the goal, to reach politics, not because it has power.
Yes.
But because that power has the power to change policies for the beneficiaries for whom I'm working right now. As an entrepreneur, as an influencer, I can do limited, but I cannot represent my people.
True.
And bring sustainable change. So I am definitely going to take up or work towards getting into politics. I don't know how, I don't know when. I have no plan. In my heart, in my mind, I feel like every leader, everybody who has an inclination towards social impact space, especially women, should go into politics, because we have only 12% women participating. There are only 12% women in the parliament sitting today, which is a very bad thing for a country like India, who has 48% women population. So whether we have a choice or not, we all should think about politics.
True, definitely. I wish you all the very best. I'm waiting to see you in politics very soon. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What are the good things you want to tell to the people who are going to listen to this podcast?
Travel a lot,
Okay.
meet more and more people. Whatever is there in your heart, try to share it with as many people as possible. Whether it's critique or compliment, it's the same basically. It'll help you move forward. And do as much as you can to self-discover yourself. Don't be scared of being alone ever. And don't ignore your dreams and passion, and keep searching for it. And you might not be able to do it right away. It's a process. Let that process be. And I don't think you can ever arrive to a solution in the world, but keep searching for the better solutions. Because if you stop thinking that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do and it's done, I'm successful, I got a car, I got a house, I'm happy, that's not going to, think about the world, think about your country, think about the villages. And this country needs all your energy. And for that, you need to find yourself. So before you do anything for others, make yourself a complete human being.
With this, the show is coming to an end. Thank you all for listening. Stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.